I paid a woman $4,200 a month for 4 years to find out I did not know how to be alone. That is what my second marriage cost me, broken down to its actual function. Sandra didn't know that was the arrangement. I didn't know either, but that is what it was. I am 78 years old. I have been alone now for 7 years. I am better at it than I was. I am not yet good at it. This video has a title that says never remarry after 65. I want to be straight with you. That is not exactly what I believe. What I believe is more specific and less comfortable than that. But we will get there. I came to Houston from Lagos in 1978 with $340 in my pocket and a piece of paper that said I could wire a building without burning it down. I wired buildings for 41 years. I know what it means when a circuit looks fine and isn't. The thing that looks fine and isn't. That's what I married the second time. I just didn't know how to read my own panel. Ngozi died in 2009. 31 years we had. She was 58. Breast cancer, 14 months from diagnosis to the end. I was 61 when she died, and I thought I understood grief because I had watched other men go through it, and I had noted the shape of it. I did not understand grief. I understood the description of it. Those are not the same thing. For 5 years after Ngozi, I lived alone and told myself and everyone who asked that I was fine. I was functional. The business ran. I ate. I slept adequately. I went to church, to my brother's house, to the homes of my children on holidays. I was present in all of these places the way a piece of furniture is present. Technically there, not doing much. My plan was, stay as I am until this gets easier. That plan was working. Slowly. Something was shifting in me around year 4, a kind of settling, like a house after a long winter. I started cooking on Sundays. I started sleeping without the television on. I started being able to sit in my own kitchen for an hour without feeling the specific dread I cannot name that used to come in the evenings. The plan was working. Then I met Sandra at a church function in February 2014. She was 59, recently widowed herself. Warm, laughed at things I said. I had not made a woman laugh in 5 years, and I had not known until that moment how much I had missed it. I want to tell you the truth about what happened next, which means I have to tell you something unflattering. I did not fall in love with Sandra. I fell in love with not being alone. Sandra was there. Sandra was kind. Sandra was the specific person standing in the place where the loneliness was, and I confused the location with the person. We were married 14 months after we met. I was 67. Now, the title of this video promises you 6 reasons, and I am going to give you 6 reasons. But I want you to understand that all 6 of these reasons are the same reason wearing different clothes. You will see that by the end, or you will see it somewhere in the middle, and the rest will just be confirmation. Reason 1. You do not know who you are alone yet. When Ngozi was alive, I was a husband, a father, a provider, a man whose identity had a frame around it. When she died, the frame went with her. What remained was the contents, and I had not looked at the contents directly in 31 years. I thought I knew myself. I had opinions, preferences, habits. But knowing your habits is not the same thing as knowing yourself. My habit was to be half of something. I had no practice being whole. I remarried before I found out what whole felt like. And so I brought my incomplete self into Sandra's life and expected her to complete it, which is not a thing you can ask of another person without it eventually costing them something. I ran my thumb across the callus on my finger 100 times in that marriage. Every time things went wrong, every time she said something that landed strangely, every time I felt the specific frustration I could not explain. The callus was always there. The answer wasn't. Reason 2. Your grief will follow you into the new house. I thought I had grieved Ngozi. I had cried. I had gone through the motions the books and the pastor described. What I had not done was sit with the grief long enough for it to finish with me. Grief, I have learned, is not a process you complete. It is a process that completes itself on its own schedule when it is ready. You cannot rush it by replacing what was lost. You can only delay it by doing so. By the time the grief finished with me, I was 3 years into my marriage to Sandra. It finished with me on a Tuesday afternoon while I was rewiring a light fixture in the garage, retired but still doing small jobs around the house. And I sat down on the garage floor, and I was not sad about Sandra or the marriage or anything in the present. I was sad about Ngozi. For years late, Sandra found me there. She asked what was wrong. I said nothing, which was a lie, and she knew it. And we both knew she knew it. And that was the day the marriage started becoming something we were both just maintaining. Reason 3. Your children have opinions about this, and they are not wrong. My son Emeka did not come to my wedding. He sent a card. The card said, "I love you, Dad. I hope you know what you're doing." He did not say congratulations. I was angry about this for approximately 2 years. He was right. He saw what I could not see, which is that I was a 67-year-old man moving fast in a direction that had grief written all over it. He had watched me for 5 years. He had noted things I hadn't. He was not being difficult. He was being accurate. My daughter Chioma came to the wedding. She smiled in every photograph. She called me 6 months later and asked, carefully, gently, with great love, whether I was happy. I said yes. She said good. And in the silence after the good, I could hear her not believing me. Listen to your children, not to obey them. You are a grown person, but they are watching you from the outside. And sometimes the outside view is the only honest one available. Reason 4. Here is where I am going to stop the list. Not because I don't have more reasons. I have 2 more written in my head, and they are both perfectly good reasons. But I told you at the start that all 6 reasons are the same reason in different clothes. And I think you can see the suit by now. The reason is this. I was not ready. Not because of age. Not because of Sandra. Not because of anything external. I was not ready because I had not yet become comfortable with the specific silence of my own life. And a person who is not comfortable with their own silence will fill that silence with whatever is available and call it a choice. Sandra was not whatever was available. She was a good woman. She deserved a man who chose her. She got a man who chose not to be alone and chose her second. She knows this. We have spoken since the divorce, twice, briefly, without hostility. She is, I believe, doing better than I am. That does not surprise me. Reason 5. You will not be the person your new partner needs you to be. Not because you are bad, because you are still becoming the person you are going to be for this next portion of your life. That becoming takes time. It takes the specific time that solitude provides. You cannot do it in company. You can only do it alone, in a kitchen on a Sunday, cooking a meal for one person that takes all day. I cook rice and stew every Sunday. Ngozi's recipe, approximately. I have adjusted it over 15 years, so it is mine now too. I cook enough for 4 people. I eat it across the week. This is a small thing. It is also, I have come to think, the thing that is finally making me the person I should have been before I asked Sandra to marry me. I am 78. I rub my thumb across the callus on my finger and I think, you are late. You are very late to this particular understanding. Yes, but I got here. Reason 6. You are allowed to choose this. If, after all of the above, you meet someone and you know, not feel, not hope, but know, with the same certainty you know when a circuit is right, then do it. I am not telling you never. The title says never. I am telling you, not until you can be alone without it being something you are surviving. There is a version of a second marriage that is 2 complete people choosing each other. I have seen it. My brother Chikwudi remarried at 71 and he is, genuinely, better for it. He had lived alone for 6 years first. He had cooked his own meals. He had sat in his own silence and made peace with it. He brought a whole person to that marriage. I brought a whole. The difference between a whole and a whole is, in English, 1 letter. In a marriage, it is everything. Some of you watching this are sitting with a loneliness right now that feels like an emergency. It is not an emergency. It is a condition. Conditions can be managed. They can even, eventually, be resolved, but not by replacing what created them with something new. Only by going through them. Go through it, all the way through. Come out the other side knowing who you are in a quiet house at 9 in the evening with nobody waiting. Then, if you still want company, you'll know why you want it. And that reason will be clean. My thumb finds the callus on my finger the same way every time. 40 years of the same work, the same pressure, the same spot. It knows where to go. That is what time and repetition make, not damage. Navigation. You will find out where your thumb goes to. Give it time to learn.